As many of you will already know, XRP and Ripple have been the center of a lot of attention in the media lately, as the SEC has accused Ripple and certain Ripple and XRP founders of conducting an unregistered securities offering in reference to XRP. The SEC, which is the Securities Exchange Commission in the United States for those who don't know, also claimed that Ripple sold a large number of XRP to retail investors who had no use for the crypto. Ripple, on the other hand, fired back, saying that XRP is not even a security and is instead a digital currency, and accused the SEC of cherry-picking quotes and ignoring the law as well as fact and reason. In this video, I'm going to be sharing my take on the situation and whether I still consider XRP to be a viable investment, or whether the bad publicity and attention from the SEC poses too much of a risk in my view. Anyway, before we get to that, remember that we are now doing monthly crypto giveaways on this channel, and that all you have to do to be entered is subscribe. Anyway, briefly, Ripple pointed to the fact that since the beginning of the public offering of XRP, which they regard as being a currency and not a security, therefore being exempt from certain rules which apply to the public offering of securities, that actually the XRP network has grown substantially in size and value since then, and that XRP is a digital currency with a continually growing level of utility. Ripple also pointed to the fact that the FCA, a financial regulator in the UK, has recognized XRP as a digital currency, and that also regulators in Japan and Singapore as well as other countries have done the same thing, and that the SEC is being unreasonable. In my personal view, the SEC are surprisingly slow to react to new technologies and ways of conducting business, especially considering that the USA is a hotspot for technological innovation. To me, I'd expect that the SEC would be leading other regulators around the world in dealing with new technologies like blockchain and crypto, but actually they seem to be amongst the slowest and most bureaucratic of financially developed nations. As the old saying goes, the time to buy is when there is fear and panic in the markets, and I actually think that while this phrase is fundamentally true, it isn't fully complete, because the mere fact that there is panic in the markets and a substantial drop in market value doesn't necessarily make it a good time to buy. It can be a very good indication, but fear and panic alone isn't enough for me. I also try to determine whether the particular bad news or failure or whatever it is causing the price to fall will actually have a long-term impact on the real value of the asset, in this case XRP, as much as it's causing the price to fall. I'll give you an example. A while ago, during the middle of the USA-China trade war and all of the news and publicity which surrounded that situation, the price of Apple stock fell by around 25% on account of the news from what I considered to be an already fairly cheap level. You see, the mere association of the bad publicity with Apple stock caused a lot of investors to panic, and the price fell by around 25% if my memory serves me well. And actually, while the trade war did have a negative impact on the value of Apple stock in the short term, from a long-term perspective, the damage to value in 5 or 10 years on was likely to be a fraction of the 25% fall, and so the market value of Apple stock fell by a degree much higher than the degree to which long-term value was affected, and that excess decline was attributable to the fear injected into the market by the bad news. Whenever there is bad news in XRP, in Bitcoin, or even in the stock market or any other financial market, there will always be a number of investors who sell just because of the bad news or because they anticipate further declines and want to buy back at a lower level. And in many cases this causes a decline in price which is far greater than the actual damage to long-term value, which means that bad news can be a great source for providing good entry points to contrarian investors. Now remember that I'm not saying that it's always a good time to buy when there is bad news surrounding XRP or any other crypto and the price is falling. A lot of the time the decline in value is justified, and in other instances the damage to long-term value actually exceeds the fall in price, which is a situation known as a value trap, where a particular asset on the surface appears to offer exceptional value for money, but in reality is hiding problems which make the asset worth even less than the seemingly low price which it's selling for. Now personally, I think that in the case of XRP and the news regarding the SEC, that XRP is actually oversold, and although the news is damaging to the XRP brand and does reduce the real value to some degree in the long term, I think that in the short term the price has fallen more than would reasonably reflect the long-term drop in value. And so I think that right now may well be a good entry point for the long-term investor. But then again, that's just my view, and every investor needs to conduct their own analysis and form their own conclusions. Thanks for watching, and remember that I'm sharing my own thoughts and opinions on the subject, and that this video is not financial advice. And again, if you're not yet subscribed to our channel, be sure to do so for those monthly crypto giveaways and new daily content.